Okay, guys. So if you're on my Monday, Wednesday class, you will have a quiz on Monday. And if you're in my Tuesday, Thursday class, you will have a quiz on Tuesday. Now, this video is mainly going to be on um, helping you out for the quiz and what I expect to do for you guys to do, especially because on Monday or Tuesday, I am probably going to go ahead and talk about the binomial portion because I actually want to do that in person. So something to really know or help you prepare. This is the first problem that we're going to start off with, question number 5. This is what we're going to start off with uh, in the problem and on Monday or Tuesday, whichever class you are. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at it, this is what we're really going to start off with. Also on Blackboard, what I want you to do, if you can print it out, or you can just go ahead and just know that it's there. If you go on, I think it's on StatCrunch and Calculator Help. Yes, here, binomial and normal probabilities. Go ahead and familiarize yourself with this. You can go ahead and click on it. It'll go ahead and I don't know what happened. Okay, yeah. So it gives you directions on how to use binomial PDF and CDF on your TI-36 and TI-83 and 84. So right now they may mean nothing to you, right? But it will on Monday or Tuesday whenever I see you. Okay, so yeah, don't worry right now about the normal PDF or normal CDF, right? We are not going to do normal distribution until after our second exam. I'm not going to have time for it, and I don't want to put binomial and normal all together. So definitely take a look at it. Familiarize yourselves with the PDF and CDF if you can, right? Even if they don't know anything to you, right? Just make sure that you go ahead and practice with your calculator, okay? But what we're mainly gonna do for the quiz is something that looks like this. Okay, so I need you guys to really be able to use the probability notation correctly. So what does that mean? So let me go ahead and write it over here. So remember that when I was saying that we needed to write this in inequalities, right? So if you remember, an inequality was something that had a less than, a greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, right? These two are inclusive. This means that I'm actually including the number, whereas these are not inclusive. So if you remember from algebra, if you had x is greater than 2, right? This means that 2 is not included, so I'm putting an open circle there, and then I'm shading everything that's greater than 2, right? And everything that greater than 2 would be everything over here. So I'm doing everything that's greater than 2 except 2. So the way that we're going to write probability notation is the same way, but we need to be able to know what the keywords are in this case, okay? So probability of x being less than 2. Okay, so the way that we're going to write this, we're going to first write probability, right? Probability of x, right? And what do we want? Are we including the 2 or not? No, because it's saying less than. So probability of x being less than 2. Perfect. That's what we have. Okay. Now, probability of x being at most 4. Okay. So what does that mean? At most 4. This is where it's really complicated. So because if you're an ESL student, it might be a little bit difficult for you to kind of grasp what these mean. But at most means I can eat as many cookies as I can, but the maximum that I can eat is 4, at most 4. And that is, well, I can eat everything, but the maximum has to be 4. What would be the best one to do? Well, if I draw a number line, here's 4. I can eat everything, but the maximum has to be 4. I can't eat more than 4, at most 4. That means everything that I can eat has to be less than 4. Less than, and I'm including the 4 because the maximum is equal to 4. Okay, so just what I'm doing is I'm translating the probability words into probability notation. Okay, now this says probability of x being at least 7. Okay, so what does that mean? At least 7. Whenever I say at least something, let's say I say at least 21, right? You have to be at least 21 to get into the club. This means you have to be 21 or over. That's all it means. So if it says at least 7, that means you have to be 7 or over, right? So you start at 7, right? 7 is included. or anything greater than 7. So this is probability of x, and here's 7, greater than or equal to 7. Okay, here we go. All right, probability of x being between 2 and 8 inclusive. This inclusive just means that they're both included. The way that we write this is very self-explanatory, right? X is just between 2 and 8, and we are including them. Okay, that's all it is. Probability of x being fewer than 5. Okay, so that means we are looking at everything that's less than 5. Fewer than 5. 5 is not included, right? It didn't say 5 or fewer, right? So it just said fewer than 5. It's probability of x being less than 5. Okay, probability of x being less than or equal to 9. Well, that one literally, it just says less than or equal to 9. Okay, and that's what it is. Now, why is this useful? Why do we want to go ahead and do this? Well, this is going to be very helpful because sometimes when we do probability, and when we get to normal distribution, or when we get to how do you say it, binomial distribution, we need to be able to know, well, what side are we really shading? Am I shading this side or the other side? Because that helps us when we come into area. Okay, when we talk about area, right, one side may be shaded and then the other one may not, but if you end up looking at the other side, right, it might be the completely wrong answer. So we need to be able to translate all of these probability statements into probability notation, right? So if you're having trouble with inequalities, really go on YouTube or on Khan Academy and really review inequalities. But this is what the quiz is going to look like. The quiz is not going to be anything on probability distributions, right? I did want to go over it, but this is what the quiz is going to be mainly on. I want you to be able to translate the probability words into probability notation. That's all I want you to do, right? There's going to be no math. And as for homework, go ahead and work on, where is it? The thing on Blackboard that I showed you in the very beginning. So if you go back to Blackboard, the binomial and normal probabilities, right? Go ahead and click on it, right? And just review them. Try to, even if you don't know what the heck you're doing, just plug in some numbers and see what you get, okay? Just read through it, okay? Because that's what we're going to do on Monday and Tuesday. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. I don't think I have anything else, but if I have any other updates, I'll just go ahead and let you know. Right.